I was reading some news article and read that Ola is planning to launch its IPO in 2022 at a staggering valuation of $7.3 billion. That is roughly around 55,000 crore rupees. And that made me wonder, what if I had an opportunity to invest in Ola during the initial period? In fact, if you have seen the first season of Shark Tank India, one of its shark, Mr. Anupam Mittal, is an early investor of Ola. He invested around 50-60 lakh rupees in Ola during 2011 and held around 2% stake. Today, that 2% stake in Ola is worth 1100 crore rupees. Can you imagine that? Just rupees 50-60 lakh investment turned into 1100 crore within just 10-11 years. In fact, there are many more examples. When Zomato launched its IPO, I read that InfoEdge, which invested a seed capital in Zomato in 2010, made 1050 times return on its investment within 11 years. In another news, I read that when Nykaa launched its IPO, Alia Bhatt and Katrina Kaif earned 10 times return in their investment in Nykaa. That too within a few years. Alia invested around 5 crore in Nykaa during 2020 and that investment was valued at 54 crore at time of Nykaa IPO. Katrina invested around 2 crore in 2018, that made her 22 crore at time of Nykaa IPO. Hey everyone, my name is Sahil and this is my Personal Finance Academy. India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. Today, we have around 95 unicorns in India and it is just the beginning. The Indian startup ecosystem will see more and more unicorns in the coming years. Of course, Zomato Nykaa IPOs are examples of success stories. We also have failure stories. Not every startup IPO becomes a success. And this failure story is of none other than Mr. Warren Buffett. His company Berkshire Hathaway invested around $300 million in Paytm during 2018 at a valuation of $10 billion. Although it is a very tiny part of Berkshire Hathaway's balance sheet. In fact, he had the opportunity to exit at the time of IPO with a very good profit. But Berkshire sold only 1.4 million shares out of total 17 million shares of Paytm it held. So on that sale, it made a good profit of 68%. But the remaining majority of shares are now in loss as Paytm valuation has tanked to $6 billion. So currently the investment of Berkshire Hathaway are almost in 40% loss. But this made me think, can normal retail investor invest in private companies? So far I only knew that high net worth angel investors can only participate in private company funding. So that would need at least 50 lakh or 1 crore rupees. And that is something not possible for retail investor. But when I did my research, I came across this platform called leadoff and it blew away my mind. It gave me exactly what I was looking for, an opportunity to invest in private companies even before they get listed for IPO. Yes, I am absolutely aware of the fact that it is not a cakewalk to invest in private companies. It is because those companies are generally very small and they have a high failure rate. So on one side, these private companies have the potential to generate multi-bagger returns like Ola, Zomato, Nykaa. On another side, it can also fall miserably. But there are many products and services of private companies that we are using in our day-to-day life. So that gives a good sense of understanding about the company. There are many potential private companies that are not yet listed. For example, you have API Holding, also known as PharmEasy, MobiKwik, Delivery, Boat, etc. And many of these companies will eventually go public. And the best part is that leadoff platform doesn't deal with very small startup companies. It deals with private companies that are mature enough and they are in their growth phase but not yet listed, like your PharmEasy, Reliance Retail, Delivery, Boat, etc. And many of these companies are going to go public. So now retail investors have an option to decide whether they want to invest in these growth companies or not before they even go public. Leadoff also provide a high-level research report with all the required details for the company before you invest your money. In fact, you can also find annual reports and news section related to the company so that investors can make an informed decision. Let me show you this platform and then we will discuss few important questions like how to invest, what is the process, how to exit and so on. So this is the landing page of the website joinleadoff.com that you can directly access from the link I provided in the description. And the name says invest in India's leading private growth companies. And you can see various names like Chennai Super Kings, Reliance Retail, CL, Tata Technology and so on. And if you scroll down further, you can see various features of the company. For example, it shows low ticket size, so you can invest with minimum of 10,000 rupees. Then it has got bank level securities. Then of course it is research driven, where you can get access to research report, annual report and so on. And it is fast and simple. On top you can see various tabs, for example blog, FAQ, so you can explore that. Now let's do one thing, let's log in and explore what all private companies are available for investment. By the way, if you log in for the first time, it will ask you for the access code, but if you use the link that I have provided in the description, you can access the portal directly. So let me just log in. So this is the landing page of the website, where you can see all the companies that are available currently for investment. You can see names like Delivery, Farm Easy, Reliance Retail, Boat, Chennai Super Kings, Lava and various other names. Then you can see another tab called Coming Soon, where you can find out companies that are coming soon for investment. So you've got names like MobiKwik, Airtel Payment, OTIS, FinCare and so on. And then you have got third tab for sold out companies, and it includes names like Xerox, FinoPayTech, Oyo, Bira and so on. Now let's do one thing, let's click on one particular company and look at various details. So once you go back to Spotlight, let's look at the details of Reliance Retail. So if you click on this, you can see various details. For example, you can see that it has got a face value of rupees 10, and currently the price of each share of Reliance Retail is rupees 3,408, and it is available on both NSDL and CDSL. Apart from this, you can see that the price per lot is rupees 10,224. So in this you will get total of 3 shares. So you will have a total investment of rupees 10,224, and then there is a stamp duty of 0.015%, and there is a transaction fee of 2%. So leadoff charges 2% transaction fee. There are no hidden charges, flat 2% transaction fee. So in total you will end up purchasing it for rupees 10,430. Now let us look at all the other details. For example, if you scroll down, you can see the research report from the company, and if you click on next, it will show all the details. So for example, it will first show you the sector details at a glance. So for example, you can see India is the world's 5th largest global destination in retail space, and then you can see it is projected, the retail industry is projected to grow at 9% between 2019 to 30, from $779 billion US dollar to $1,407 billion by 226. Next you can see the company level details. So for example, you can read about the company. Reliance Retail is basically a retail initiative of Reliance Industry, and of course it was founded in 2006, and now it is the largest retailer in India in terms of revenue. And you can find all other details. If you click next, you will see all the brands that Reliance Retail has got under its umbrella. So it includes Reliance Fresh, Reliance Smart, Reliance Mall, Reliance Digital, Reliance Market, JioMart, Trends, and of course your Jio Life. Next it will show you all other brand names. So it has got Reliance Jewel as well, then AJIO.com. Then of course it has partnered with top brands like Burberry, Diesel, Michael Kors, Hamleys and so on. So you just click on next and you will find all of the names. Then very important part, you will find the financial data. So here you can see the 2020 and 2021 financial data that include the revenue, other income, total income, expenditure, EBITDA, net profit margin and all of this. Then you can also see the balance sheet detail. So you can see the share capital, reserve and surplus, total liability, total asset and so on. So you can see Reliance Retail has generated a revenue of 1.31 lakh crore in 2021. And if you click on next, you will see details like what are the milestones Reliance Retail has achieved. So for example, in 2006, Reliance Industries ventured into organized retail through Reliance Retail with its first Reliance Fresh store in Hyderabad. And then of course over the period of time it has launched various stores. In 2010 it crossed 1,000 store mark. And then if you click on next, you will find all other details like in 2017 it crossed the 5 billion revenue mark. Then if you click on next, you can see in 2018 it crossed $10 billion revenue mark. And of course in 2020 recently it has launched JioMart, which is India's largest hyperlocal solution. If you click on next, you can see all the top level details. For example, in FY21 it has a revenue of 1.57 lakh crore rupees, EBITDA of 9,789 crore. Currently it has got 12,711 retail store, and it's got an area of 33.8 million square feet, available in more than 7,000 cities, and of course serving 5 million plus customers every week. Then if you click on next, you will find various KPIs like it has employed more than 2 lakh employees, it has got 250 distribution centers across 23 states and so on. Apart from this, you can see the shareholding pattern. So basically, Reliance Industry is the parent with 89.91% shareholding in the company. Then apart from this, it has got investment from Silver Lake Partners and KKR and a few other names. If you click on next, you'll find the future projections of the company in terms of its revenue and profitability and all of this. Now if you look at next details, you can find the road ahead. So basically, what are the future growth prospects for the sector and the company? So it says e-commerce is expanding steadily in the country and retailers should leverage digital retail channels that would enable them to spend less money on real estate while reaching out to more customers in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And it says the online retail market in India is projected to reach $350 billion by 2030 from 55 billion in 2021. So huge runway for online retail business from current levels. Then apart from this, you can see various drivers that include your rising income, favorable demographic, entry of foreign players, and of course, increasing urbanization. So these are the details that you can find. Apart from this, you can also look at the financial tab that include the FY20 and FY21 annual report. So you can click on it and you can access the annual report as well. And then of course, you have got this news tab where you can access all the latest news related to Reliance Retail and all the companies that are listed. But only thing that I did not find on this platform is the market cap and the valuation in the research report. Apart from this, I think they have provided a great insight about the company. But of course, you can find all those valuation detail in the financials in the annual report of the company. By the way, once you invest in these companies, you can access the share on your Demat account. So you don't need to open a new Demat account. You can access it on the CDSL and NSDL platform. Apart from this, secondly, you can access it on the brokerage platform. For example, you can access it on the Zerodha platform. And third, you can access it on the holding tab. So if you click on this, you will be able to see all the holdings that you have of the shares. So this is pretty much it about this leadoff platform that help you invest in the top private companies of the India that are in the growth phase and before they even go public. After I had a look at the platform, some important questions popped up in my mind. And one of the question was, how once you invest, how to sell? Hence, I did some research and tried to get this answer. First of all, even though these shares are of private companies, they are available in Demat form. So when you buy the shares, you can access them over CDSL or NSDL. And you can also access them on your broker platform like Zerodha or also on the leadoff platform. But once you invest, it will take around 24 to 48 hours for the shares to be reflected in your Demat account. Now remember that leadoff is not like Zerodha or any other brokerage platform where you can find buyers and sellers in real time, since these companies are not public. But that doesn't mean you can't sell your stock. So there are 3-4 ways to sell. First option is during the buyback offer. Generally, companies that are cash rich announces buyback. In that case, you can sell your shares. Second, if there's a merger or acquisition, the acquiring company usually buy the shares. So you have the option to sell during that time. Then third, if the company decides to go public, you can sell the shares at the time of IPO at IPO price band. However, if you decide to hold the shares till the company goes public, then once the company goes public, you have to wait for 6 months before selling, as there's a lock-in period of 6 months from date of listing of the company. And then you can sell the shares. And when I spoke with their support team, they said that they are soon launching this feature to sell the stock of these private companies on their platform. In that case, it would be very easy to transact. And as far as the share price variation is concerned, the share price doesn't change in real time like that of public traded stock. Although the share price movement is again dependent upon the supply and demand function, but since there is limited supply and demand for these private companies, the share price movement is maximum twice a week. So in this video, we discussed about how to invest in private companies in India in their growth stage before they even go public. Earlier, it was not possible for retail investors to invest in private companies, but leadoff is democratizing private equity investment with a ticket size of just rupees 10,000. But remember that it is a high risk, high reward game. It means while on one side you can generate multi-bagger returns, on another side the stock of these private companies can also fall significantly. So you should do an in-depth study before investing your money in private companies. But overall, leadoff provides a great platform to diversify the portfolio by investing in private companies in their growth stage with as low as rupees 10,000. What is most interesting is that there are a lot of promising names on the platform that are already aware of. For example, we all know brands like PharmEasy, MobiKwik, Delivery, Boat, Bira, etc. and eventually these companies would go public. So leadoff has created a great platform to do research and become a shareholder in those private companies even before they go public with as low as rupees 10,000. And the best part is that you generally don't find the detailed information about these private companies on public portal. So you can access those documents including the annual report to read more about the business of various promising companies and then take a call whether you want to invest or not. So this is it for this video. I hope you'll find it useful. Let me know what are your thoughts on this new platform to invest in private companies. If you want to explore leadoff, I provided the link in the description. With this link, you can get direct access to the portal. And if you have any doubt, let me know in the comments. I'll see you next video. Till then, take care.